Hello everyone and good morning. Welcome to another event of the BIM ZERO series. Today's topic is all about the integrated project delivery and the early design stage. Hello everyone and good morning. Welcome to another event of the BIM ZERO series. Today's topic is all about the integrated project delivery and the early design stage. This event is developed by BIM Freelance and sponsored by BIM Week and BIM Campus. And joining us today is Gustavo Ferreira. Gustavo Ferreira is an architect, engineer, urban planner, and technologist. He's the creator of the International Master BIM Manager, the world's best-selling master, and the CEO of BIM Freelance. Hello, Gustavo. Good morning.
Hello, Daniel.
How are you? Thank you for being here. So we'll go right ahead for the questions. I would like to thank as well the audience that's here with us. And starters, I will ask you, what is IPD?
Yeah, for sure. IPD is a methodology that is based in interoperable and collaborative technologies that we have right now and integrates all the project teams to create value for the client. I guess that's it. Canonic way.
And what is the objective, the mission of the IPD?
Yeah, create in the eco industry with the IPD is enabled to create products with similar quality for the industry that is most advanced. We are going backwards from these industries from 40 years, 50 years ago. And then using interoperability and collaboration as the principles for this new industrial shift.
Okay, and what exactly does it have to do with BIM?
Yeah, BIM is the technology, okay, allows us to collaborate, working in model assets. We are not talking about projects so much. We are doing the projects, and this is an important activity, but we are working over the assets, and the vision changed a little bit, and BIM is focused on the life cycle of the assets. The question of BIM is engage the client and all the stakeholders to create value for this client and for the aspiration and needs that this client has.
And what about Open BIM?
The question of Open BIM is that it's interoperable. We have the information and we share everyone and we have the same information for the first time. And then this enables collaboration, but not all the time collaboration, but cooperation and sharing. And this is quite important. Definitively, the requirements that allows us to integrate all the disciplines and supply chains is possible right now with the Open BIM, regardless of the specific BIM modeling technologies that we use. Even proprietary technologies are now possible to interoperate, that's certified to interoperate, and then we have something that we can share and meet all together with the same thing. And it represents true collaboration in the industry. Open BIM represents the true collaboration all across the industry.
Very well. So we finally discovered something more about the methodologies. That is the BIM and IPD. How are they related?
Yeah, BIM is the collaborative technology that enables IPD. IPD can happen without BIM, but nobody demonstrate that. Theoretically, it's possible, but this is not the point. BIM and IPD are not the same thing, but BIM technology, modeling technology, internet, and so on, and all this, even in the future, we meet with BIM, IoT, and other requirements to increase the value, increase the power of this whole relationship. But right now, in the industry, we have the tool for the clients, for the whole stakeholders, for the IPD to happen. IPD is more the methodology, okay? The BIM methodology is not the BIM methodology, is the IPD. IPD is one of the most relevant methodologies, can be more, but right now, I guess is the right methodology for now, for the future, because it's like to try to have the best for the life cycle, and now the life cycle is possible. Then we have everything we need. We have the technology and the idea, the management, the methodology to manage all of that.
Okay, and how does that methodology work?
It's simple. Integrate all the interviewers or the agents or the stakeholders so they can collaborate in the common objective. We have a common objective and create value chains for the client, because we focus on the client. We are customer-oriented, client-oriented. That's the whole point of the IPD. Therefore, the people that work there, especially the industry, obtain an incentive to innovate and to contribute to the project. Altogether, we succeed or we fail. There is a single team, everyone is integrated there, and there is no individual victory. This is well described in the guide of, if you Google IPD guide, you see the 27 guide, and you can see all these explanations about what will be the future and how we will do the work together.
Okay. Now, where does the lean approach fit into this methodology?
It's very important. Let's go to the past of the industry and then how it evolves from the automotive industry. That was a great shift about the methodologies, about how to create the industrial products. The balance of the automotive industry was in Detroit, but then Toyota, with the explanation and the system for the US guys, create the Toyota production system that was focused on a different approach. Is everything that the client does not need is waste. This paradigm was applied, is called TPS, Toyota Production System. And then this Toyota Production System create the lean manufacturing that is widespread in the industry right now. And then the lean construction, because is the base of the IPD methodology. Is that conception that from the world of manufacturing, we are creating products, okay, life cycle products that we must manage for the client. And we need to avoid waste and create a better product using the innovation and with all the stakeholders creating together. It's a new paradigm in industry.
Well, and okay, so I understand. And then the losses, I mean, the waste is avoided, right?
Yeah, the waste is, we try to do the best, but not individually. We need to know which is the waste. The waste arises when we share the information and see that there is opportunities and there is some weakness, and we all together decide how to do that. Because we see, for example, the overproduction, the stock or the piles don't generate delays or waitings, avoid defects, take advantage of the talent that is so important, the talent, all this talent together, not individually, not focus on one thing that is defined by whatever, whoever, we don't know. IPD do it by design. Today cars are better because the factories itself is better organized and use the talent and use the ideas of the people that works there and design everything, and it's connecting the people who design and the people who create and manufacture the auto, and the the whole network that distributes and, and replace the pieces of the car, the questions when it's out of order. Okay, and this whole thing is integrated, avoiding what does not create value and applying everything that creates value is what the lean approach is proposing.
Okay, I would like to inform the audience that the next BIM ZERO event, lean and the 8 types of waste will be addressed.
I agree. We need to go to a different and explain the lean in detail.
In more detail, right?
Yeah.
But for now, we continue. And the next question is, how does the IPD work? How does the team do what it has to do?
First is the commitment to the customer. Everything must know that the question is generate value for the client. And the second, we choose the right moment. We need to choose the right moment to avoid the mistakes and the errors and have the right information, because when the build is done, it's not possible to change nothing or almost nothing. Okay, we are going to the early design stage to match the expectations. Is two fundamental conditions.
So the important thing is when to do it, right?
Yeah.
When we start designing. Why is that?
Yeah, because, and I quote something that Patrick McLeamy, one of the heads, one of the most important guys in the world of BIM, one of the leaders, even in the Building Smart, says that a project is more difficult to change when you develop it. When it's in the last development, it's more difficult to change. It's obvious. I guess everyone knows that, but the industry don't put remedy or don't change the paradigm to obtain more value for the client. Don't do that. Maybe because it's so hard with the technology of 30 years or 40 years, but right now we have computers, we have internet, we have technologies and software, pieces of software, and we have the right vision about the process. And this vision is the IPD, and right now is the right moment.
And what is the Mclaren Curve?
Yeah, Patrick McLeamy creates something to explain this kind of concept, created the curve that is so known in the industry, to explain how this works, the impact of design during the life cycle of the product, that is the building, the asset. We change some asset, the site, or into something different, or we demolish some asset because we need to recover the site or something like that. In this curve is easy to understand, but we can explain, I guess, in a more simple way, because this is easy to understand when you are a designer, but when you are the public, you understand this concept, then you say, okay, I know that this is fundamental and we must do the work, the industry must do the work in this stage. And if this goes later, it's not possible to obtain some value for me. It's not only for the industry, it's for the clients. On the X of this axis, you have the design stages, even the traditional on black, and on gray you have the integrated. Is more, which is the relationship between the traditional and the new integrated process. But we are in pre-design, we are in the schematic design development, and then in the construction documents we are doing all the job. But this is not the right way. The brand curve is not the right curve. We are doing all the job in the construction document. You can see that increase in the brown in the construction phase. This is not the right way. And then Patrick McLeamy, that is pushing this curve and says, is pushing, you see but doing the job in a blackboard, in a whiteboard, and then it's pushing, and this curve can, this whole work can be done in a most efficient and profitable way, doing the job in the early design stage. We go to the schematic and design development and do the job with BIM, because we are creating a virtual model. This virtual model is everything. It's like the real building when this will be in the future. And then if we go to this IPD design process and the curve goes to the early design stage, then we are right. Then we are doing the job all together and avoiding increasing the value of design and avoiding the cost of changes that we can explain in the next slides, because there is a curve that explains that design is better. The pre-design decisions are better even than the schematic design decisions and even than the design development. But a decision in the construction documents has half of the value from the pre-design, you know? It's like, if we can see this curve, you see that the ability to impact cost and functional capabilities is decreasing with time. And on the other side, is mixed with that, is that the cost of design changes is increasing, the cost changes will increase especially from the construction documents. And then the point is, we are doing the job right now, designing and then looking for somebody to build to do the job. And then this is not the point. This is not design, build. This is not the right way. IPD is relational, and design, build is transactional. We do the things because it's impossible in the traditional way to integrate everyone. There is no technology, no collaboration, no devices to share information. And then we can see, if we see the brown curve and we see the ability to impact the functionality, that all the work done in the design is waste. All the design work that is done over the ability to impact cost is useless. Okay, that's my point. This is not really a curve about quantities. This is a kind of curve or graphic that explains how all these things works to do the job. But it's quite interesting. This is quite interesting that the money spent on design in the IPD is all efficient, and even in the design build is useless. And then we are wasting money on design that used in the early design stage is good. It's a guide for clients to invest money because they are investing the money their own way. You know?
Very well. So you have said that those who build and operate the assets have to be there. If not, it doesn't work, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If they are not there and reviewing, modeling, participating, the information is not exchanges and the collaboration is not arising, and everyone has not possibility to participate in this collaborative culture, has no idea about the process because are unable to create value, are late, you know. Especially important are those who know the business model for the new asset and who will keep running and are not intervening because it's late. The people from the operations must intervene in the decisions of the early design stage, but they are unable to be there, you know.
What if something unforeseen happens?
Well, that's the point. Problems emerge all the time when they are possible to be solved. Looking for the IPD, okay? There are all together, and then they talk and solve it, and will no longer be a mistake that threatens the profit or even the viability of the asset. Maybe when you are in a project, you see that it's not viable. You have no idea if you are going to the construction documents, okay? and this is late. Now you can see that this is not a viable, this is not sustainable initiative, okay? And IPD, actually the most important thing for IPD is that insurance is trusting on IPD because avoids all unknown future risk, not all, but most of the risk of the futures, is creating a virtual model that is preventing everything we see because we are all together seeing the problems, each one in their speciality. No? Anyway, the problem is not that there is problems on design, there's always problems on design. The problem is being able to detect them because there are not, those who knows the problems need to see it. I don't know problems that arise, for example, for operations. I'm not a specialist in operations. I'm not an interior architect, really. I am architect, but not interior architect. And I can see something that happens or some conditions that I see that are match the expectations that somebody can analyze and see that is not possible. It has not the numbers, not the conditions, not the requirements. And all these things are integrated together in avoiding everything.
Sure. Indeed, the experts detect errors as soon as they see them. You know, is this the guarantee?
Yeah. Have much experts in a project. That is, on other cases on the industry, and even when there are emergencies, most advanced countries has this kind of integrated teams. When you have, I don't know, a hurricane or a tornado or something like that, you have this kind of all the people go there because they see different things and can help and create a better reaction. And they must, these people must do the job in 24 hours, for example. And then it's important to follow these people working together. All the experts there are a guarantee. This is completely, this is true, and this is proven, and that's the whole point. When these kind of things are irreversible, is because these experts are not there to prevent that. For example, security issues in the asset, or something that you can do in the asset that is impossible because it's built. Okay, experts are there for a good reason, and this is a kind of guarantee. The design build process can't guarantee that.
Okay. Now, design bid build, you know, DBB.
Let's go down this road.
Is it the opposite of IPD?
Yes, methodologically, collaboration is impossible in DBB because we design isolated, and the design team is going to create something that is the what that you are creating, but you don't know the how. You even don't know the best when, and even why, because we are designing something that maybe the client don't say that I expect. And then there is a lot of unknowns there. The BBB is late, the party's over, there is nothing to do, you know, and all the technology potential of the BIM modeling is not of mass use. The design has not had this is not collaboration at all.
Okay, very well. Then that, for example, in Europe, ISO 19650 is DBB and not IPD?
Well, unfortunately, in Europe, and it's coming from the UK, that was UK do a great job, but I guess was in the level 2 of UK is going to a low evolution of the concept. The technologies are there, we have the IPD conception and everything is here. Why we are not going to the relational and not transaction? You know, unfortunately, Europe is the e-procurement directive is using the DBB because it's impossible to share the information with competitors in a project in the early design stage. And that's a very important problem for IPD to be implemented in Europe. Ontologically, it's impossible with this directive to match the expectations because the work is done before, and then you are not able in later phases, construction documents, pre-construction, to avoid these mistakes and to create value, you know, the both things.
Is there any possibility that to use IPD even in public projects that only support design bid build?
There is one possibility that is in the scope of the AIA, that are the contracts the AIA has with the IPD family, that is the single purpose entity. You created the so-called single purpose entity is a project entity. And then when you have the management is the public interest. And then you invite to this project several market players, okay? And then have the same information, and you can share the information because you are managing this kind of organizations inside. And this contract is managed by the whole objective of create value for the public and public or private clients. And then, you know, with this single purpose entity, public projects can, I guess, is my opinion, that is possible to be used in with this ISO 19650. You know, it's possible to use in Europe.
Okay, I understand. So the question is more organizational and legal than methodological.
Exactly. That's the point. You're right. I agree that once the entity exists, where the participants are members of the self-management, this is a question of organization, and then this is not a change in the legislation. The directives of Europe is important to understand and base the European business group, I guess, must do the job to recommend and create even a new directive or influence a new directive that understands the relational value for the public assets, you know, and the management of the public properties, this kind of methodology. But on the other hand, if we have this kind of legal and organizational methodologies, this kind of tools, we can do the job. Totally recommended for the IPD, even when you have a directive that says design first, then bid, and then build. Inside the organization, you can manage all of that, preventing privacy or competition weakness or risk that can disqualify somebody from the project. Everything, the organization is going together and then compete inside the organization. That's the whole point of the IPD, compete, and then arise with if you create value, you can get the value. This is the incentive and the bonus.
Right. Now, why do you think the IPD is so little spread?
Well, I guess the public, the industry is so reactive. It's one of the industries most less developed industries in the whole picture of the industry in the world. And the excuse of the customers from the industry that the customers is not requiring IPD is a little weird, because the truth is nobody knows about this kind of advanced in methodology. BIM technologies are more shown because we create a model and we show the model. But really the revolution of the AICO is on the IPD, but nobody knows these methodologies. We need to go to the public and explain how to do that, how we do that. And okay, that's, I guess, is we are not doing the job to explain to our clients what we are really able to do.
it is a little weird that having so many years and support is not what everybody who builds something uses, right?
Yeah, BIM must be, I guess, must be popular. And if BIM is popular, the people will know from the side of the property and the money and the assets and the business, will see that IPD is really the translation of the BIM to their interest, you know? And when the public understands the BIM and the really incredible revolution of the eco industry, of the life cycle, of the methodologies, of the technologies, of this whole data of the built environment going there, they will understand from the side of the assets, and the properties will understand better. And we need to go there and explain, like we are doing right now, explain which is the value of the IPD, and the IPD is your methodology. BIM is doing the job in the industry, this big BIM, okay, the people are prepared, and there's this big conception of doing, creating value for you as owner, as investment fund, as developer. Then we are prepared. You need to understand that this is a huge change, and all the industry, all the sectors, even the insurance and the health and everything and the security is increasing dramatically with the IPD. And that's the whole point, explain why we are going to the early design stage, and then magically is a miracle. We create value and we create something more, something better for the future.
And speaking of future, what do you think will happen to the IPD in the next few years?
We are going hard to explain. The private sector will understand before the public sector, I guess. BIM and IPD, okay. The government, for example, of the United States, the GSA, and even the Corps of Engineers and the great and the great actors that are there, is understanding that this is the way, is a long time prepared to be practical, generate less risk, create more benefit. Even United States is in last 3 months ago, there was a meeting between United States government and UK government to say, UK says we are saving a lot of money in our health system, for example, or in our public infrastructures, because the use of the BIM and creating more value in the operations phase, operations and maintenance phase, operations, not only maintenance, but operations. And you know, a lot of BIM managers are being put in place and are growing the number of BIM managers in the countries, and then explain you directly, prepare an implementation plan. And this whole thing will increase the implementation and the right vision of the big BIM. We talk in last BIM ZERO events about the big BIM, you know, and that is the whole point. When the clients understand that the industry is not doing the right job with the DBB, or even the governments are not well organized to create value, the whole legal picture is not prepared, I guess they request that. They has lobby, they has potential to, and we are going, the industry that are going to the eco is giving a message to the AC, to the traditional AC industry, to change or to die. You know, in IPD seems to be you are on our side or you are against our side, because it's the money. This is not a problem about architects and engineers not trying to change in companies. Must understand that the client will be the lead of the projects, and that's the whole point of the industry.
Okay, very well. I think this about wraps up our session. Thank you for being here, Gustavo. As always, it's your immense knowledge helps us, you know, understand better this whole topics related to BIM. So again, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. And if I might say, I guess is one of the topics that are more engaged with the diffusion. You know, we need to explain this kind of thing because this is really one of the most important things created by the BIM technology, arising because of the BIM technology, and it's exciting. We are doing the
Yes,
job and we will succeed.
we will. Okay, so to the audience, I would like to invite them for the next event next week. You know, what is model checking and how to avoid errors, and hope to see you then. And for now, I will say goodbye and see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.